This is one of the most elitist things that you could do during this time. The federal government, according to Education Secretary Miguel Cardona, said Sunday they have an August 31st deadline, technically September 1st. They said they've been having daily discussions. They're trying to determine whether or not to extend they have two options they're looking at: to extend the 30-month student loan pause or cancel a certain amount of borrower's debt. So that's a lot of money. It's enough money, especially if they were canceling debt. This is 13% of Americans, by the way. Only 13% of the overall population actually has student loan debt that would be affected by this. So you're talking about spending $20 billion. Ultimately, that's what this would do. To cancel the loans for 13% of Americans. Most, and I'm going to say it because it's true, they're privileged. If you are taking out student loans, and here's oh my gosh, it gets even crazier. First off, you're privileged if you're taking out loans like this and going to these super fancy schools and all this other stuff that requires you to go 6 figures in debt. That's stupid. You need to reevaluate your life's choices. Unless you are, which I think we have two, honestly, and I told one of my kids this, I'm like, I think we got a lot of lawyers, so you better look at ways that you can, make a better impact. But unless you're going into like a medical field, so much of the stuff is just, liberal arts stuff and humanities. You don't need to be racking up 6 figures in debt for this stuff. And for it to only affect 13% of the population. How does this look like it's in step with the average American when this is just 13% of the overall population affected by this? You're making blue-collar workers who planned their lives right. They studied so that they had a skill set. They went to work filling a need. You're going to make these people finance the education of these 13% privileged people? And what's crazy is that with some of what Democrats are proposing, they have a bunch of different schemes on the table. One of them is that they think that if Biden does forgive the loans of these 13%, this 13% portion of the population, that they should have it, wiped off their record, I guess with BleachBit, wiped off their record and be able to take out future loans again. So people who were irresponsible financially, you want them to be able to access more loans? This is dumb. You're paying for someone else's obligation. How is that in any way fair or in any way in step with the average American? And they said that the prevalence of student loan debt, this is from the Washington Examiner. For instance, they wrote this piece on Biden staffers owing millions in student loans. Well, there's been studies on this, and the prevalence of the student loan burden is among younger educated workers. They went to good schools, they're going to good colleges, and they're getting good loans to pay for these good colleges. And then they want to cry foul and act as though they are burdened because they willfully chose to do this. That's like me making everybody else accept the terms of my mortgage and helping to finance my property. It's exactly like that. It's like forcing other people to be co-signers on your car note without even A, making them aware of it, or B, asking their permission. You can't force people to assume a debt you willfully took. There is nothing about any of these people going to get college loans today that makes them any more special than the people who went to college before them. And this argument that, well, times are different now, like hell they are, that's such a dodge. No, they're not. The only way that they're different is because the politicians that most of this demographic keeps voting for chose under Obama Biden to nationalize federalized student loans, controlling them, driving up the cost of college education, and now they're bitching about it and acting like it's everybody else's problem. Go and look. You can go and look at the bill that did it. You want to taltalk about entitlement. That's the height of it.